Bo Scarbrough, thanks so much for taking the time to join me today. I really appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So let's get started. First question for you. What is your real name and how did you get the nickname Bo?
Uh, I really don't like to tell people my real name, my government name,
Okay.
but I got the name Bo from my daddy. They used to call him, well, they call him Cabo, and then being in the neighborhood, this guy named LaDonna, he gave me the name Bo, because they used to call me Cabo as well. And
Mhm.
then LaDonnie and one of my best friend, Cameron Davis, they just made it short, and everybody started calling me Bo. So LaDonnie and Cameron Davis gave me the name Bo, and then it just stuck, and then everybody just ran with it.
I love
And
that.
a lot of people
So,
think that that's my real name, but I mean, if you look, like, everything has Bo on it. Like, my insurance card has Bo on it. Like, when I go check in for a doctor's appointment, it's always Bo. Is
mhm.
like, I be stuck in a situation where, like, do I supposed to put my government name or do I put Bo? And, like, if I put my government name, they'll be like, "Oh, we don't have you on file." But when I say, "Well, check on the Bo," and they be like, "Oh, here you go, right here." So it's like my government name doesn't matter because
Mhm.
everyone, you know, call me Bo, and they put everything in the book as Bo. So yeah, everybody just ran with it.
How about your family? Do your parents call you Bo or do they call you by your government name?
Everyone calls me Bo. No one calls me by my government name. Not even
Wow.
my mom. My
All
mom don't
right.
even call me by my government name.
So Bo it
Yeah,
is. So how
yeah.
old were you when you first fell in love with football and do you remember that day?
Yeah. I had to be in the I had to be in the first in the summer of kindergarten, going into the first grade. Me, Cammy, Vontae Davis, them two is brothers, and we always played football in the neighborhood. We would wear different jerseys, the Manning jerseys, and the Michael Vick jerseys, and we would always say what type of player, who we were at the time, and we would always play football from sun up to sundown, and our main goal was to, make it to the NFL, because that's what, we were watching pro athletes at the time. And, we always have been around sports. And once, uh, once they came around with a little league football in our community, and we started playing football for them, and we both fell in love with it, me and Vontae, and we the best of friends, and we did everything together. We People say that we played alike. They didn't know the difference between me and him, if we had on shoulder pads and helmet. And from that day forward, since playing with the Greene County Gators, I was the quarterback. From that day forward, I fell in love with football, and I love the game, and it's just something that that I'm surrounded by, and it's something that that I know in and out. I know X's and O's, and the love of the game is like your girlfriend.
Mhm. You mentioned Michael Vick. Did you have any NFL players that you looked up to growing up?
uh, Growing up, I used to like Brandon Marshall and Michael Vick as well, and Ronnie White when he was with the Falcons as well. And but at the time, Adrian Peterson, he was in college at the time, and he was one of my favorites of all time is Adrian Peterson, and I try to mimic my game after him, try to run the ball like he did, and long story short, I ended up being on the team with him in Detroit, and it was just amazing. The type of guy that he is, he's very calm. Very helpful, willing to help you with anything. All you have to do is ask the question, and he'll help you. And he's not an arrogant guy from all the things that he's accomplished in his career. And I didn't expect him to be the type of guy that he was when I first met him. But he's a very respectful guy. He'll talk to you and talk to anybody. And he's a guy that shows up on time and do everything right. And I just tried to follow his footsteps as he was in Detroit. But yeah, Adrian Peterson was my favorite player of all time, and yeah.
I love that you got to experience that full circle moment. So let's fast forward to the start of the USFL. You didn't sign with Birmingham until prior to week 5 of last season. When did you first hear about the USFL? And when did you realize that you wanted to be part of the league?
I didn't hear about it until they started drafting people because I was working out at Exos, and one of the guys actually from Birmingham had got drafted to the Houston team, and a guy that I was working out with, he actually knows and played at Mississippi State. He's from Birmingham as well, and he was telling me about the league, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I ended up talking to Zach and telling Zach that, I would like to play in the league, but I had the conversation with my agent first, and we thought that the USFL would be the best way to go at the moment. And then maybe like 4 or 5 weeks later, I get a call from Daryl, and he was asking me to come down and and watch a game and see that I want to play. And I told him, I said, no disrespect, but if I come to Birmingham, I'm not coming to watch a game. I'm coming to play.
Mm. So where were you when you got that call from the Stallions, and what was your reaction?
I was at home in Dallas, and it just like it wasn't a big reaction. It was just like it's time to go to work, and that's what it is. It's a job. It's nothing. It's exciting, but at the same time, you can't be too excited because it's a job, and you can be like playing football is one of the hardest jobs in the world because you don't know if you're gonna be there the next day or not. And
Mm.
it's something that's not permanent. Like you can't play football for the rest of your life. If you could, everyone that played would be playing. So you only can get the most up out of it while you're in it. And but it's exciting to be still playing football. But at the same time, you got to look at it as it's a job, it's a business, it's an organization.
Yeah. Going back to your last answer, you said, I didn't come to watch, I came to play. Even though you joined the team mid-season, you were immediately a leader in that locker room. How were you able to make that kind of impact so quickly?
Uh, I think it's just something that just in me, it not something that grown on me. It's always been in me. When I was at Alabama, it was the same way. When I spoke, people listened, and I guess that me coming in here and speaking my words, and people knew that I came from Alabama, and they knew that I knew how to win a game, and I know what it takes to win, and it's just all about having the respect from players. And when you got respect from your players, and when you speak, they're gonna listen, and when they listen, they're gonna go out and try to do their best to perform. And to be a leader, you just have to back up what you're saying, and you have to accommodate what you're saying, and show actions and not just by words. So when I first came, I did everything by action before I even spoke a word of trying to be a leader on the team. And when I spoke, everybody bought into the system and bought into the program, and we came together at one, and we won the championship.
Yeah. You guys not only won the inaugural championship, but you lost just one game last season. What is it that sets the Stallions apart, and where does that winning culture come from?
The winning coaches come from us by, like I said, us being one, and everyone have to buy into the program and buy into the system and listen to co-hosts and listen to their coach and be coachable and not be one of them players that want to do their own thing and not listen. Because when you have players that doesn't listen and want that's not coachable, one player can mess up the whole team because it's 11 guys on the field, and one player doesn't do his job, then the whole play is blown up. So it comes from by players that want to buy in, want to win, want to listen, want to be coachable. It's something that they want to do, and that would make us different from other teams. But I can't speak for other teams because I don't know what they're doing, but I know what we're doing here at the Stallion is everyone is buying into the program and listening to their coaches and being coachable. So that's the main thing about bringing a team together and winning a championship is that everyone has to be bought into the program and bought into the system and be coachable and be able to listen. You have to be one of those players that put your head down, listen to what the coach is telling you, and do your job. And that's the end of it. But if you got players that's out there that's not want to listen to the coach and want to do their own thing, and then you're gonna have a bunch of hoodlums on your team, and nothing gonna be done correctly. And we have a team that's full of guys that discipline, and like I said, they coachable and listen.
In the championship game, you finished with 13 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown. In the first half alone, you had over 100 yards. Take me back to that game. What do you remember most from that game?
Winning, but it's like normally because like I can't remember things that happen in the game because it's you be in that mindset in that mode of domination, and it's the gift from God that He give you to do all these athletic abilities that you have, and it's crazy because you'll do a play and you go back and watch film and like, wow, I didn't know that I did that. But from the run that I remember the most is the 70-yard run that I had when I cut it back across the field. And the only reason why I remember that run because I was kind of gassed at the end. But the most thing that I remember is that seeing the smile on all our player faces, and the joy that we had together, and the celebration that we had with our coaches and our fans and the teammates. And it was something special to be the first team to win the USFL championship. And that was one of the most important things that I remember is celebrating with my team and seeing these guys smile and having a great time.
What does that championship win represent for you personally?
It's just another ring to my collection to be able to show my kids when they able to understand what winning is about. And I don't expect them to accomplish what I accomplished, but I expect them to go down that path of being better than I was. And I have to show them that, and I have to show them that the way to be better than me. So, and then that comes from me raising them, and I have to raise them the correct way. And that means a lot to me because that's something that I can carry with me for the rest of my life is a championship, and that's something that no one can take away. And a championship, yeah, everyone wants a championship, but everyone not gonna win a championship. So for me, it's important because that's something that no one can never take away from me is winning that championship with the USFL.
You talked a lot about how you guys as a team collectively really bought into the season. Everyone was kind of all in and very coachable. How would you say that this year's team is different from last season?
Because we got the same almost half of the team back, and we have a couple new guys, and Jay New, he's one of the guys that were here last year, and he's on the defensive side of the ball, so he's telling them what the team expect and what we're all about on this team and how we expect things from you because the expectation of this team is very high, and we expect guys to come in and be pros and not be little kids and not be someone who hand that we have to have while we trying to win football games and be pro athletes. So the main thing we telling them is buy into the program, listen to the coach, and be a pro at the same time.
How would you describe the Birmingham Stallions in one word for me?
I would one word I would describe us as we're disciplined and we're dominant. I had to
What's
use two words. I couldn't use one because we're a lot of things, but the most important thing was that we're a dominating team and that we're a disciplined team.
How would you give me an example of your team's discipline?
Because everyone take responsibility of their own. Everyone, no one late to meeting. Everyone shows up on time. Everyone shows up with a notebook and a backpack and a pen. Everyone be in the place where they're supposed to be. Everyone shows up at workout when they supposed to. Coach give us the day off, and we have guys come in and work out. We have guys listen to the coaches. We have guys that do extra work on the outside of practice. We have it's a lot of things that we do that our guys is disciplined on, and But the most important part of being disciplined is listening to your coach and being on time. You know, and time is very important because time doesn't wait on anyone. And then, like if the meeting started at 2 o'clock, we have guys getting there at 1:50 because the meeting can start before two. So that's being disciplined. Getting to the meeting before 2 o'clock.
What's something that fans would be surprised to know about the Birmingham Stallions?
Uh, I'm pretty sure that they probably know everything about us at this point. But I think that they should know that we love our fans very much and we appreciate the support that they give us by coming out into this hot sun, especially the games that we play at 3 o'clock in the middle of the day. And we really appreciate them and we love them for that. And they're like our 12th player on the field because they gonna be loud whether we winning or losing, and they're just something special, man. They bring something special to the table, and we appreciate them a lot, and we just love them.
We talked a little bit about your leadership role. How would you describe your role in the locker room this season, and is it different from what it was like last year?
It's more the same, but it's more, I can say, leveled up because I have a lot of guys that come to me with a lot of questions on, personal things that going on here that, that I can help them out with. And it just I'm just happy to be that person that they can come and talk to and get things off their chest that they may be going through and I can help them out in any way that I could. And most of the time when I do have a conversation with them, they always say, man, I didn't look at it that way. I appreciate you for, taking the time out your day and sit here and talk to me. It really means a lot. So the leader aspect of it is, talking to my teammate as in like personal life and the things that they're going through and not just football.
I love that. It's a family. Switching gears, tell me about your knee injury. What happened and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a torn meniscus. Well, partially torn meniscus, and I had a bone spur behind my kneecap. The rehab is going good. Flexion is at 128. My other leg is at 138. So I'm on a 10. I'm on a 10 off, and Kevin Wilk is doing a great job with me with that. The knee is feeling good so far. A little bit sore, from the bone spur, but it'll take a few weeks. I'll be running in the next 8 weeks or so, and be back on the field for next year.
Great to hear, and I wish you a speedy recovery. So last season, you guys were the only team in the league that had the luxury of playing the entire season at home. How does it feel now to be on the road for some games this season?
I feel great. I love when the guys go to a away game and just to make the away game feel like a home game because we coming in to take over, and I like to see the sadness on the other team fan faces because when we come in to take over. We not buying down to no one, no matter where we go. It gonna always feel like a home game to us.
What's it like working with head coach Skip Holtz? Tell me about your relationship with him.
It's good. Coach Host, he's a very funny guy. He's a guy that, you know, when you talk to him about something, he always has an explanation of something good that you may think that you can't get good up out of, and he make you think in a different type of way. And being around Skip is just like being around Coach Saban. Is like you thinking different. You plan to the expectation that you want to play at. He make you feel comfortable being uncomfortable, and then just Skip is just a great coach, man. I just love the way how he run his program. I like the way how he treat us. We win a game, we get milkshakes on Tuesday that his wife brings. So we fighting and trying to win because everyone want that milkshake, and he have fun with her. He take her to Tile Golf. He take her to the museum. He try to spend a lot of time with us, and yeah, he's just a different coach from, and other coach. He's more of a player coach, and he care about his players a lot. He take good care of us, and yeah, I just love the way that he run his program. It's very great.
I love that you brought up those milkshakes because I heard that Jennifer Holtz makes some bomb milkshakes. Tell me about them. What flavor are you getting on a Tuesday afternoon?
She bring in different ones, so I'm kind of a vanilla guy.
Okay.
I choose the vanilla because that vanilla is just so good. You got me thinking about it right now. But yeah, she bring in the milkshakes and they very nice. It's good, and we appreciate her for taking out her time of her day to come and bring up milkshakes. And it's about 63 milkshake that she had to bring,
Wow.
and it's a pleasure to have her around, and to be bought into the team, and to show her love and show that she love us, and bring her milkshakes and stuff like that. So I appreciate her a lot, and I'm sure the guys on the team do as well.
Oh, I love that. I know you guys are only a few weeks into the season, but what have you learned so far?
Far as what?
Lessons from this year. What has the season taught you so far about yourself?
Uh,
About the
it's really the same. It's really the same thing every year. Like you're gonna learn how to be a leader in a different type of way. Your mind gonna be in a different state of mind than it was last year. You're gonna grow as a person. You're gonna grow as a player. You're gonna know more about football. You're gonna know. You're gonna understand plays more. You're gonna understand why coach is doing this and why he's doing that, and I just think it's an overall growth in everything. Your in your game, the way you think, the way how you handle situation, the way how you talk to players, the way how you talk to coaches, the way how you talk to people during the interview. I just think that you just grow all over.
Switching gears, I want to talk about Alabama. You were born and raised in Alabama, played for the Crimson Tide. Now you're repping the Stallions in Alabama. Tell me about how much pride you have for your state.
I have a lot of pride for my state. Coach Saban, we won. He won a lot of championships at Alabama. I won two championships and three SECs. At Alabama, and the fans here is great. The people here is great. It's a great place to live, and I love the state of Alabama. I love what we do here, and playing for Birmingham is just even more exciting because the same people that was at the University of Alabama game is the same fans they here at the USFL game. So you get to see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of people cheering you on that cheered you on in college, and a lot of people get a chance to see me up close because they didn't get a chance to see me in college up close. And every week I'm meeting someone that say I watch you in college. I never got a chance to see you up close, and it's just so great to see you up close. I hope that you're doing well and that you get better. And it's just like last week, I signed autograph for the first two quarters because I felt like I owed them that,
Oh,
because a lot of kids don't get a chance to get an autograph because of after the game we sign a couple autographs and we have to go. So I gave my time back to them, which I felt like I owed it to them. So I sat there and signed autograph until the last person, to the last person, and it just felt great to look up in the stands and see the smile on the kid faces, the grown up faces, and the people that's around the security guards that smiling because of you doing something for the community and the kids really enjoying it, and they can go back and tell their friends that they got a chance to meet one of their favorite players or a USFL player, and it's just amazing, just a gift from God that you're able to give back.
oh, I'm sure that made their whole day. So you
Yeah, I
played
hope that he did.
you played at the University of Alabama from 2015 to 2017, where you were a two-time national champ. What led to your decision to go there?
Coach Saban, and even though that I'm from there, me being from there had nothing to do with me coming to the University of Alabama. But my aunt, she was a big Alabama fan, and she supported me in every sport that I did. Denise Scarborough, and she died from breast cancer when I was in the uh 10th grade, and she always supported me in everything I do, no matter what sport that I was playing. She was always there. And another reason, Coach Saban, when Coach Saban came to my house, and I had Miami had been there, Ole Miss had been there, UCLA had been there. It was a lot of teams that came and visited me, and most of the team that came said that I would start when I got to college. And what stood out to me the most is when Coach Saban came into my house, and he said, "I'm not gonna promise you a starting job, but I am gonna promise you that you can compete, come in and compete, and have a chance to play." And that would brought me into the University of Alabama is that Coach Saban didn't promise me anything. He promised me that I can compete and that I can have a chance to play. And that's what I did. And I wanted to compete against the best, and I wanted to be the best. And at the time, we had 8 running backs at the time, and I made the ninth running back. And I came in and competed, and that what made me choose Alabama. And thirdly, my mom is right there. She can come to the game, which no matter where I would have went, she was gonna come to the game either way I go. But it would just made it easier for her, and I'm glad that I chose to go to Alabama. Coach Saban was there all my years. I didn't have a different coach at my position or at a head coaching job. So by Coach Saban being there my whole time and Coach Byrne being there my whole time made a big difference for me in the long run.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from Coach Saban?
The biggest lesson I learned from Coach Saban is that I have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in in situations, and that way you can handle anything. And the reason, and another thing, a reason why we hold up the fours is for commitment, effort, discipline, and pride, and that's what I take from it, and that's something that Coach Saban has, put into us that we had to have effort, pride, toughness, and discipline, and all of that. And he cared more about us as a man and as a student than he does as a player. Because one of his things is that if he can't trust you to go to class, then he can't trust you on the football field. So, and he put school first, and that's an important thing because most coaches only care about the sport and they don't care about if you graduate or not. And if you go back and look, we have the most student athletes to graduate.
Hmm, I love that. Alabama is obviously a top tier program, and you spent some time competing against and playing alongside some of the best. And that's just talking about your teammates. You talked about, the lessons that you've learned from Coach Saban, but what lessons did you learn from them,
From Coach Saban.
your teammates?
Oh, my teammates. Just like Derrick Henry. If I'm gonna use Derrick Henry for an example, he was a guy that he worked out after practice and he went hard in everything that he did, and he never took any plays off. So once I got there, I watched him and Kenyon Drake and T.J. Yeldon. And those guys would go full speed and everything that they did. And then when they got to the game was so much easier to them because they went hard in practice and the game was easy and they wasn't tired in the game. And I can rewind back to when I played against Washington. I went hard in practice every day. I ran the ball like it was a game, and once I got in the game, and once we played against Washington, playing in the game, I wasn't tired. I wasn't sweating. I felt like I could have played another game after that because of the way that how I practice, and those guys taught me how to practice, and just by watching them, and they didn't have to speak or say anything. I just watched. They did everything off of actions.
After 3 seasons at Alabama, you decided to forego your senior season and enter the NFL draft. What led to that decision?
I just felt like it was just, yeah, I felt like it was my time. I prayed about it, and God told me that it was my time to go, and I followed the journey, and I had a conversation with Coach Saban, and he was all for it as well, and I had a conversation with Coach Byrne, and Coach Byrne thought that I made the right decision as well, and the rest is history.
Yeah. You spent some time with 5 NFL clubs, but unlike most players in the USFL, you've actually had a taste of that NFL game day experience. What was your biggest takeaway from those collective experiences in the NFL?
Like I said before, being on time and being pro, and it's a job, and you got to treat it like it's a job because it is. and you have to come in and do everything the correct way and be one of the players that the coach recognize as he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's a pro athlete. This a guy that I want on my team. I want on in my organization, and it just translated over to the USFL. I treat it the same way like it's the NFL because it's a job and we get paid to play. So it just being a pro.
You've had a lot of challenges in your career. I mean, dealing with so many injuries in high school and college, and then having things maybe not go as planned with the NFL, yet your work ethic is unmatched. I read that you keep plays taped to your bathroom door. That way, when you're in the restroom, you can study plays. What's your why and what keeps you going?
I mean, my kids, my family, the love of the game, and I got that from Coach Burns back at Alabama. Taping the plays against the bathroom door, so when you're in the bathroom, you can study at the same time. I got that from Coach Burns, but what drives me is my kids and the love of the game that I have for it. It just, when you love something so much, it's hard for you to walk away until your time is over, and that's what drives me, the love of the game that I have for it.
You brought up your kids. We've seen you on the field holding your son, Island. He sees you're an example, and he's going to have that core memory growing up of watching you on the field like, man, my dad works really hard. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. My daughter, she sees it that well, and she's 7 years old, and she's like she's famous, and I'm like, how are you famous? She was like, because my dad's famous, so they make me famous. So it's it's very heartwarming for your kids to see you play the game and see you doing a good job. And for Alan, I know that he doesn't really know what's going on, but later in life, I can show him all the videos and the pictures where he has been around the whole time. But I don't want to put the pressure on him to be the player that I was. I want him to be better than me, and it's my job to make sure that he's better than me. But if he doesn't choose to play a sport, that's on him. But whatever he chooses to do, I'm gonna make sure that he does it 100% well, and that he's doing it the way that he's supposed to do. And whatever he chooses, I'm gonna make sure of that.
You talked about how your kids are your why. What has fatherhood taught you?
Is once you have once you have kids, your life kind of changes. Like your heart gets softer because like kids, like my son and my daughter, they the only ones that, and my girl, they the only ones that can make my heart soft. And to watch them grow up so fast, and it make me feel like I'm getting older as the day go by. But they have to eat. I have to provide for them, and I have to um be the man that they expect me to be, even though they don't have expectation. But I still want them to um you know see me be a man, because at some point she gonna have a man, and I want her to understand what a man is and what a man's supposed to do. And I want my son to treat a woman how a man's supposed to treat a woman, and be a man, which is handling your responsibility and integrity.
Yeah. Tell me about your mom. Is she still doing your meal prep?
Yeah, well, I haven't had her do it in a minute, but she still doing her. Most people think my mom, my sister, because how young she look. She's still working at DCH, Druid City Hospital in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She comes to every game and be supportive. But I'm probably gonna, now that you mentioned, I'm probably gonna have her do me a meal prep here in the next 6 weeks or so. In the next 6 weeks or so, but she's doing great. She's a happy mother, and she doing the best that she could, and I appreciate her for everything that she has done for me. because without her, I don't think I would be the man that I am today.
What do you want on that menu for mom's meal prep?
She already know that I want that fried chicken and rice for
Mm,
sure. And I gotta have some collard greens and cornbread and some black eyed peas. So a lot of people don't know about black eyed peas and pinto beans and lima beans and stuff like that. To see the people not eating like that, yeah, and
mm.
that's something that I'm gonna have her put on the menu is the lima beans and the pinto beans and especially the black eyed peas and cornbread and collard. I can go on and on about these meals and it because in the country, we eat different and is that's why I guess people in the country be much bigger than the people in the city because we everything that we eat coming straight out of the kitchen. We don't go to fast food restaurants. We don't go to restaurants because we barely have any. So everything that we eat is home cooked or straight
Made with
out of the
love.
garden.
So, how has playing in the USFL changed your life?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say that it changed my life. I would say that it gave me a second chance at playing football, to do something that I love and that I can, I'm here playing, and I wouldn't necessarily say that it changed, but I can say that it gave me an opportunity to keep playing football.
You have a degree in criminal justice. What do you hope to do after football with it?
I want to be a FBI investigator. That's something that I've always dreamed of being an FBI investigator. So after my career is over with football, I'm gonna pursue to be, in the FBI.
I love that. So, to end this interview, I always do kind of a speed round. So, are you ready for this?
I mean, I have no choice but to, right?
Buckle up. All right. Finish the sentence. I'm not ready for game day without blank.
I'm not ready to see, without Jamar Smith.
Without who?
You said I'm not. Say it again.
I'm not ready for game day without blank. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I don't know. I'm not ready for game day without I don't know, without being prepared.
Game day hype song.
Game day hype song, I would have
Mhm.
to say Lil One from the Project by Lil Tink.
Okay. Favorite food.
Fried chicken.
Guilty pleasure show.
Welcome to Eden.
What's the most embarrassing song on your playlist?
Uh the most embarrassing song in my playlist is I would have to say Rihanna Work.
Okay. Would you rather have a pause button in your life or a rewind button in your life? And what moment would you pause or rewind to if you did have one?
I would like to have a rewind button. I would rewind all the way back to high school
Okay. Why?
because high school was fun. You had no responsibility, no bills or anything.
Your life is on the line and you need to sing karaoke to defend it. What song are you picking?
I'm gonna choose Lil Baby intro.
Love it. Who from your team is most likely to have their own reality show?
Zaquan,
Who from the Birmingham Stallions is most likely to cancel plans last minute?
J. Mar Smith,
Who from the Stallions is most likely to survive a scary movie?
Marlon William.
All right. That was it. Bo, you crushed the speed round. Thank you so much for joining me today and best of luck with recovery and health and all of the things this season. Wishing you well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you for taking the time out your day to interview me, and y'all have a blessed day.